Memphis, you're now tuned in to Mike Check Memphis. It's your girl, Janet JB, your entrepreneur bestie, and we're turning up the volume on real estate, real talk, wealth, and community. It's time to check these mics. Welcome to Mike Check Memphis. Mic check, mic check. What's up, Memphis? Happy Friday. It's your girl, Janet JB, your entrepreneur bestie, and welcome to another episode of Mic Check Memphis, where we talk about everything real estate, real talk, wealth, and community. And guess what? Today's episode is titled, What the Shift? And listen, it is perfect timing because everything around us is shifting. The economy is shifting, jobs are shifting, prices are shifting, our goals are shifting, even our patience is shifting, y'all. And for many of us, our whole lives are shifting. And I want you to hear me clearly. A shift is not a sign that something is going wrong. It is often the greatest sign that something is going right. But before we get into all of that, I want to give you a quick recap of last week's show because it was fire. I had the brilliant, powerful, and spirit-led Z Davis in the studio last Friday, and we talked about your crown still fits. We talked about mindset strengthening, how your thoughts become habits. So watch what you're saying, watch what you're thinking, and actually taking time to think about what you're thinking about. And overall, how to just stay grounded in who you are and your purpose. And just remember, no matter what season you're in, your crown still fits. You guys, it was a whole word. So if you missed last week's episode, make sure you go back and watch it on my Facebook page, Janet Haynes, and listen because baby, the episode was fire. It really was fire. Now, you know, I'm a realtor, so I wanted to make sure that I gave you all some market status updates. So let's shift into what's happening in the Memphis real estate market. I'm using the official October 2025 Memphis Area Home Sales Report provided by the Memphis Area Association of Realtors. First things first, Memphis showed growth this past month. The total home sales increased by 2.2% from last year, and the total sales in October was 1,234 properties, all right? And the median sales price just overall in the general Memphis Shelby County area jumped from 200,000 to 215,000, and that's just that Memphis Shelby County area. And that's still a strong 5.9% increase. So overall, this means homeowners are still building wealth, even in a shifting economy. We did see the normal seasonal slowdown compared to September, where sales kind of dropped a little bit. But that usually happens going into the holiday months. But that doesn't mean you cannot get home for the holidays because you still can and there's still time. But guess what? The buyers who remain in the market, they are extremely serious and extremely intentional. So the inventory is steady climbing. And right now we closed October with over 4,600 active listings. That's active properties for sale in this market. So more listings means more choices for buyers and more competitive pricing for sellers, all right? Average days on the market for sale is about 54 days, which means if you are a seller out there and your home is well priced, well maintained, and well represented, guess what? You can still get sold before the new year. All right? So what does this all mean? It just really means that Memphis remains one of the most stable, affordable, and opportunity-rich markets. All right. So whether you are a home buyer, whether you are a seller, or even an investor, there is room for you in this market. All right. So now that we've looked at how the market is shifting, let's talk about how you can shift in your life without losing your momentum, your confidence, or direction. So why is shifting necessary? When life shifts, our normal reaction is to resist it. We tighten up, we try to hold on to our old routine, our old timeline, our old way of doing things. A lot of times we tense up to the overall change. But can I tell you a truth? Shifts are necessary for your elevation. When things stay the same, we stop growing. When life challenges us, we activate strength we didn't know we had. So, shift does three things. Shift exposes what is outdated. Your old habits, those old environments, those old mindsets cannot take you into your next season. Number two, shift reveals what you've been avoiding. That is correct. When you're ready to shift or you're on the verge of shifting into something different, it's going to shed a light on what you've been avoiding. And sometimes your delay is tied to something that you refuse to confront. Whether it's something you said, something that you are stuck on thinking a certain way, or not mending things that have just been, awkward for some time. Shift positions you for blessings you didn't even plan for. You ever look back and say, whew, if that didn't happen, I would still be stuck. That's the miracle inside the shift. Shifts are not disruptions, they are divine redirections, right? And then we get into personal shifting. So let's start talking about that. And then when I say personal shifting, I mean what is in your personal life that needs to shift. Because the biggest shifts are the ones that happen inside your home, inside your mind, and inside your routine. And when you are shifting personally, that's a lot to deal with because it is going to bring forth what your habits are. And some of the things that you have a habit of need to actually be changed so you can continue going in the right direction. Many of you listening right now may feel stretched. I know I do. Parenting, working, your side hustle, your business, caregiving, and can I say, the older our parents get, the harder they are to raise. I know if you can relate, keep listening. Even healing is a shift. Praying is a shift. Rebuilding and still trying to chase your personal goals. Here are ways to shift personally without abandoning your dreams. Reset the timeline, not the dream. Your dream is still valid, even if your timeline has changed. So stop punishing yourself for being human. We're into November, going into the last month of the year. So even if you haven't finished that goal yet, revisit the goal and adjust the timeline. And remember, the only thing that comes to a dreamer is a dream. Now you got to make sure you put that dream to work and make sure that it comes to fruition. B, create micro wins. Wake up and decide one win for the day. When you stack your daily wins, you create weekly progress, and weekly progress becomes monthly transformation. And I don't know if it's something cognitive related, but oftentimes we get settled or stuck on what we haven't done or what we haven't completed. And then that turns into a whole nother weight on your shoulders, making you feel like you're just stuck, when in reality, you're getting stuff done and you're actually productive. So take time for the micro wins and acknowledge those. Manage your energy, not just your time. You cannot pour from depletion. Protect yourself, protect your peace, and remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So sometimes the most productive thing to do is rest. So if resting is what you need to manage your energy, then take time to do that so that you can continue shifting or even trigger the shift that needs to take place. And I don't know about you all, but us Capricorns and overall us go-getters or just independent people, we don't really ask for support. And that's one of the things I have here. Ask for support. There is strength in delegation. There is strength in partnership. There is strength in saying, I need help. Especially if you have someone that says, hey, how can I help? Or let me know if you need help. It's okay to say, you know what? I'm going to take you up on that. And here's what help looks like for me. Can I count on you to help me in this way? Release the version of you that no longer serves your next season. Yes, we are the same people, but if you're going to something different or you're wanting to start something new, the current version of you may just have to change, especially if you're leveling up or going into a new space. You can't stay the same if you want different results. You cannot shift if you're holding on to old identities that expired 2 seasons ago. Growth requires upgrades mentally, spiritually, financially, and emotionally. And on this show, we talk a lot about building wealth and leveraging a life of thriving. And in order to do that, you have to really be who you need to be financially or show up as that person you would like to be financially until those pieces are connected. So if you're somebody who's like, man, how do I do that? What does that look like for me? Identify something or someone who's doing what it is that you're trying to do or who's in that space where they're thriving or they're handling building wealth in a great way and study their habits. Wealthy people, they don't just become wealthy because they said they want to be healthy. They actually put some habits in place that get them to the degree of wealth that they desire. So study what that looks like. What time do they get up? What do they do? What are they reading? When I taught personal finance, I always told students reading people are leading people. You have to continue to feed your brain and feed your goals by reading on something that can help. All right, so study what they're reading, study what their patterns are, study what they have eliminated in their routine and in their habits. All right, so let's talk about our entrepreneurs, because guess what, you out of everyone are the ones who have to shift the most. You shift when the economy changes, you shift when the client behavior changes, you even shift when social media changes. And really, social media is a tiring exchange in a lot of different ways. So you have to protect that. You shift marketing when the trends change. Your bandwidth changes. Your pricing changes. And some of you, yes, it's time to raise the price. It's time to get what you are worth. And as an entrepreneur myself, it is so hard to raise your price or increase your price when you lack value. Okay? And price only matters in the absence of value. So if you are an entrepreneur and you're looking to increase your prices, make sure your prices match the value that you are giving to your clients or your prospective clients. All right? Price only matters in the lack of value. Your goals change as well. So guess what, entrepreneurs? That's why flexibility is a business skill set that I encourage you to continue to hone if you haven't already. Here are some entrepreneurial shifts that keep you profitable and stable. Shift your strategy, not your value. Sometimes your products or services don't need to change. Your strategy does. You might need new packaging, you might need new messaging, you might need new positioning, and you might need that business coach that you have been procrastinating about hiring. All right? Shift away from the busy work and lean into productivity. What are your income producing activities every day? Busy looks loud, but productive looks strategic. All right? Shift your target audience. One of the biggest entrepreneurial breakthroughs is realizing you're talking to the wrong people. Target the people who actually need and value what you offer. So if you're saying right now, I'm only looking for those who are looking for me, or I only want to work with those who want to work with me, then target them. Start by your phone. Look at your phone. How many contacts do you have? Everybody in your phone should be getting an email, a phone call, a text message, or some type of exchange about what you have to offer. Even if they don't do business with you, still let them know that you are in business and accepting new clients. Shift from doing everything to delegating with intention. Your business cannot grow if you are the bottleneck. So for those solo entrepreneurs, really think about what areas can you leverage to where you can work in your business instead of always working on your business. Shift your mindset around slow seasons. Slow seasons are not punishments. They are preparation seasons. So entrepreneurs, they give you time to refine your systems, organize your back office, elevate your brand, and plan for the next quarter. And to be honest, if you are an entrepreneur and a business owner in the last quarter of this year and you don't have your first 2 quarters mapped out for FY26, I'm here to tell you, you are already behind. But that's okay. Start today and catch up. Because proper planning prevents poor performance. And you are in the business to make money. I don't care what anybody says. If you are an entrepreneur, you have a side hustle, you are a business owner, you are in the business to make money. And just like those huge brands that we shop at all the time are in the business to make money, they have already mapped out their FY26, their calendar year 26. They're already planning on 2027. So start to put some strategies so that you can shift your business and your skill set into high gear to get the results that you want. So let's talk about shifting as a home buyer, because there are some people that are still in the market to buy. They're still looking for their home that they want to live in. So for my buyers listening, this market requires shifting as well. And here are some shifts that can help you win as a buyer. Shift your location or your expectations, not your dream, not your goal of owning a home. You might find your dream home in a different neighborhood, a different school zone, or style, but the dream is still possible. You can still get that $500,000 house by purchasing the one for $300,000 and making the upgrades to get it to that $500,000 value. Or you can change areas, like I said before, to get the most value for your money. Shift toward down payment assistance. There are programs in the city of Memphis that are still available that can make home ownership easier. So don't assume you don't qualify. Ask. Contact me at jb@mikecheckmemphis.com if you have questions about where you stand. I have lenders who won't just tell you no or tell you what they think you might be qualified for. I have lenders who will sit down with you and listen to you and say, hey, this is my budget, this is what I want to do, whether it's, hey, I'm a current homeowner, but I want to go ahead and start my wealth portfolio to buy an investment property, or hey, I'm a business owner who's outgrowing my business space and I need to move into a new building, whether I'm going to build it, buy it, or remodel an existing building. So if you are in the market to buy and you need to know where you stand in terms of dollars, I do have lender partners for every type of buyer. Your first time home owners, your sellers who need to sell and buy again, those who are looking to invest, those who want residential or commercial property. I have a lender partner for you, so please reach out so we can help you. Shift your mindset from wait to prepare. The cost of waiting is real. Rates shift, prices shift, rent will always increase year over year. Equity escapes the more that you wait, the longer that you wait. So prepare now. When the market moves, you'll be able to move with it. Buyers, shift your determination of a starter home. Your first home is not your forever home. It's just your launching pad. Buy strategically, right? Like I said, you can still get that $500,000 beautiful, nice home by buying the $300,000 home or even less than that and building on top of that home, or even saving your money or using the equity in that home to get your forever home. Now let's talk about our sellers who are needing to sell their property, whether you are selling the property to use the proceeds to buy another one, or selling the property to pay down debt, or just really alleviating some of your assets for whatever reason. The way you sell in today's market has shifted. So you might need to shift your pricing to match the market. And when I say match the market, I'm talking about matching what buyers are looking for. The market is the buyers that are in the market to buy. What are they saying? Are they making offers on your home? Is your home sitting longer than expected? Your list price must compete with the homes buyers are actually seeing, not with what you feel your home is worth. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but that is why you consult with a realtor, or just look at, if you are one of those independent sellers or sellers who want to sell on their own, look at what has sold in your area that is the same square footage or similar, same amount of bedrooms, bathrooms. Look at the upgrades that one house sold for compared to the home that you have, and if you need to make any type of upgrades. And understand that not all upgrades will give you the price point that you want to sell at. For example, you might change the paint on the wall and be like, yeah, I want to sell my home for $10,000 more because I changed all the paint. That doesn't really increase your value. But does replacing the roof, does changing the countertops, does upgrading the appliances or the heating and air unit? Possibly. Shift how your home presents. Like I said, staging, decluttering, cleaning, and neutralizing your home, it does make a difference. So if you're in the market right now to sell your home and it's not selling, think about those small adjustments that can help shift the outcome in your favor. And overall, shift your marketing strategy. Buyers don't just look at the photos online. They're on YouTube, they're on Instagram, they're on TikTok, they're on Facebook, they're on Zillow, they're on Google. You need full visibility. All right? And shift early, not after sitting for months. Make the necessary updates early so that you can stay in the way of buyers. All right? Adjust your price early if you need to. Respond to the feedback as much as possible. And make sure that you are partnering with your realtor if you have secured one, to get that home sold and meet your timeline. Now let's talk about shifting as a seller in a way that won't benefit you, because oftentimes when I meet with a seller or I meet with a buyer, I always get some type of feedback that that person or couple has heard from someone else. And they may say, well, you know what? I'm not going to sell right now because my girlfriend told me that her house sat on the market for 3 months and XYZ, or my friend, he sold his in 30 days. So I don't know what to do. Be prepared to shift with the decision makers who are actually going to get the result that you need. If your friend is not financially invested, I'm sorry, that's just a conversation that just should be just that, but not one that shifts your determination or your strategy in how you are going to sell or buy your home. All right? And as always, if there's a legal matter involved, I also have some very trustworthy real estate attorneys who don't mind getting on the phone and talking through your situation. So always seek somebody who's a licensed professional to give you the right information that you need given your circumstance. Now let's talk about my investors, because these investors are buying up property, and you may be a starter investor or someone new to investing and may want to get out there and test the waters. Investors, shifting is your superpower. You're going to shift anyway. So let's talk about shifting your strategy when needed. You might pivot from flipping to holding, from short-term rentals to mid-term rentals, or from single-family to multi-family properties. This is normal. So don't be afraid to shift when necessary. Shift your financing. There are DSCR loans, private lenders, commercial lending, partnerships that use what fits your season. So whatever you're looking for, there's a way to get it done. Shift your area of focus. Memphis has emerging pockets of opportunity, and sometimes investing one zip code over can double your return. All right? and shift your exit plan. This is for everybody. Everybody. Always have more than one way to win. And don't be afraid to make that shift. Now, here's how to recognize a shift. You might know a shift is happening when you're uncomfortable, you feel stretched, doors close, opportunity leaves, new ideas pop up, people fall away to the wayside, new people come about that have a similar interest and you guys hit it off right away. You lose interest in old ways or old habits, or you feel called to do something new, or you're pushed out of your comfort zone or merely feeling burnt out. When you see those things, have the level of discernment to realize you are in a shift. And these are not disruptions, they're simply indicators. And how you respond is going to determine the outcome that you have. A shift is often the bridge between where you are and where you are supposed to be. So, as we come to the end of today's episode, I want you to embrace this truth. The shift is not here to break you, it's here to build you. You're not losing ground, you're just simply transitioning. And you're not falling behind, you are just being positioned. You are shifting into your next season personally, professionally, and financially. So if you're shifting into home ownership, selling, or investing, or you need guidance on positioning yourself for 2026, text me or call me at 901-621-4663 or email me at jb@mikecheckmemphis.com. I'm here to help you step into your next level. If you are an entrepreneur or even a business owner or just someone who's seeking the space where people are having those conversations, reach out because they do exist. Now, next week is Thanksgiving, and I don't know about you all, but I am going to be the one cooking next week. And I can cook, thank you. But I want you all to have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. If there is somebody that you know may be spending the holidays alone, reach out and invite them over or take them something to eat. Remember to give thanks and give back to those in need, because to whom much is given, much is definitely required. And as a community, we want to continue to love on those in the community that we share. All right. There will not be a live episode next week, but we will have a replay for you to enjoy. But this is what I want you to really mark your calendars for. Mark your calendars for December the 5th, because my special guest will be none other than Dr. Keith Norman, who's the pastor of First Baptist Church Broad, and he's my pastor, and I'm so excited that he agreed to be on the show. You are going to want to tune in because this is going to be powerful. We're going to be talking about how you can still thrive and bloom right where you're planted. This has been another amazing episode of Mike Check Memphis, and I actually also want to do a call to action. I would love to interview someone who has a personal testimony that they don't mind sharing when it comes to building wealth, starting a business that's thriving, leaving behind a legacy, or some growth that you've grown through over time. If you are a professional that's willing to come to the mic and share some nuggets for the community to help them in terms of real estate, real talk, wealth, and community, please reach out at jb@mikecheckmemphis.com. I would love to offer you a seat at the microphone here. But stay focused, stay faithful, and stay ready for the shift. This has been another real episode of Mike Check Memphis. Peace.